So we've just had the Easter bank holiday, and I'm sure loads of you have been out doing lots of shooting. I know, certainly Neil at Rack and Load has, and the Replica Reviews did some quite interesting gong shooting. You should check that out. But I went up to Grimsby, and I went to see Ash at VarmintShootersUK. You guys should remember Ash from some of the long-range shooting videos I've done, and from the video where we shot the Rodo. Tom was supposed to come up with us, but unfortunately he's done his back in, which was annoying, so he couldn't make it. But I do know he's going to have a lot more free time soon, so you should be seeing him around, more often when his back's fixed, basically. But anyway, I went up there because it's always good to get a bit of extra training, especially when you've got an experienced instructor like Ash, because he really does, if you've picked up any bad habits, he can point those out to you. And bad habits are very easy to pick up when you're shooting a lot of the time on your own. And one of the things I wanted to look at was, I've been tracking this Rodo for a few weeks, or I had been, and I finally got my opportunity. She was 100 yards away, broadside to me. I'd just been trying to squeak a fox. It's a bit of a scan around and she's there. And I rushed the shot. I took it from a sitting position, and I must have aimed a little bit high, and obviously my gun shoots a little bit high at 100 yards, and I just managed to just zip it over. I must have literally just pushed the bullet through her fur on her back and just missed her, basically. I mean, it was shameful. I'm quite embarrassed about it. But we went to work on that. So what follows is what happened. So we started off at 100 yards. And this is Ellie, who came out with her boyfriend Jordan for a lesson. And she's had a few lessons with Ash, I think shooting his 20 to 250, amongst other things. And she's got a background in the Army Cadets. So Ash enjoyed teasing her about shooting military style, which we'll come on to in a bit, actually, about the difference between shooting well and shooting how a Scotty shoots, but we'll get on to that in a moment. But yeah, this was her first time with the 243, and as you can see, she's smacking that steel, no problem at all. She's just getting down on target and hitting it. And they're making fun of me because I missed the first couple of shots I had. Anyway, this is me with Ash's 22-250. For those of you that don't know, 22-250 is basically a full bore size cartridge, so similar cartridge to my 243, but it's loaded with a .22 caliber, like 55 grain slug. So you're talking about 4,200 feet per second. I mean, it's really screaming out of there, and the perfect thing for like long range varminting, like shooting foxes at 800 yards or something like that. And it's quite a heavy rifle, so it's got an amazing trigger. He's really tricked that out. It's a Remington 700. I should have mentioned it. It is a beast of a rifle. But my only worry would be with a rifle like that. I don't know if Ash will correct me, but I would have thought that the barrel life can't be amazing with those sorts of velocities. And to be honest, I don't know. As an all-round option, if you take a 243 and then you buy ballistic tipped rounds that are like 55 grain, you're talking probably similar performance, I would have thought, but I'm sure he'll correct me on that.
There you go.
Now this is me reaching out to about 200 yards, which is what my zero is on the 243. And one of the things I was talking about bad habits, was really gripping the gun too much. It's funny, I had a subscriber recently, and I was talking about this, about how to grip the rifle, about how it's important. I mean, obviously, you've got the normal marksmanship things where you've got, trigger control, breathing, and follow through. But the next thing that really should be on your list, amongst beyond everything else, even fit, would be to not try and grip hold of the pistol grip. It's a bad idea. And this is why I always say it's a gimmick with these long-range rifles you see, with these chassis you buy, and they've got like a sort of angled pistol grip, like an AR-15. It's a load of rubbish, because if you're a good shot and you're shooting long range with a rifle like that, the first thing you'll do is not use it. You'll just put your hand against it and squeeze the trigger, because what you're trying to do is ensure that all the recoil from the muzzle to the end of the stock is going in one straight motion. Any gripping onto that pistol grip is going to force the gun to the left or the right, and it will affect your accuracy. Now, I kind of already knew that, but as Ash says, you get overexcited, or you kind of, you're not concentrating, or you hit a couple of times and then you get a bit blasé about it. And he could see, although I was holding it right, he could see that my hand was almost like white because I was gripping it. And you really as you really don't want to do that. It's a really bad idea in terms of accuracy. And but either way, as you can see here, I'm shooting out to 200 yards with my Browning T-bolt, and that's a 2.2 long rifle. And here's Ellie having a go, and that's a 40 grain slug, subsonic. And so you're talking about like 97 foot-pounds of energy, and yeah, normal hunting distances, you're talking like 50 to 100 yards. But actually, that's a 6-inch gong we're shooting at, and we were reliably, consistently, over and over again hitting it. And frankly, that's a dead rabbit. So I don't know, if you get it right, you range find it, you know where the gun's going to go, then it'll work. And that's the beauty with rifle shooting, as opposed to, say, shotgun shooting. As long as you do everything correctly, it will work. It will work consistently. And at 200 yards with that rifle, you're basically using the very bottom crosshair on the mil dots, the very, very bottom of the crosshair, and that's with 10 times zoom. And you put that on the middle of that plate, you'll hit it every single time. And as you can see, Ellie's doing the same. I mean, we did this once or twice, but almost every time. So here we are, you can see the sort of army thing coming out here. The weird, I don't even know what it is, but it's like a sort of like block of stuff that you light, and yeah, we made lunch. Now this is Jordan, and he's reaching out to 200 yards. It took him a minute or two. I noticed actually, and I'm sure he'll watch this, so he'll know, he can see my criticism. But he did very well, but he was rushing it a little bit, and that's the thing you'll notice when Ellie's shooting. Although obviously I've edited this, so you can't necessarily appreciate how quickly between shots, or how long between shots people are taking. He was rushing it a little bit, but nonetheless he started connecting, and again that's at 200 yards, and he's a lefty. No offence, Neil, rack and load, but he's a lefty, and he's still managing it. He's hitting that gong pretty consistently, and as I said, that's a 6-inch plate. Now I think Jordan was going to have a quick go at the 243. I just wanted to check my zero. Again, that's at 200 yards. It's of different perspective, and yeah, it's smack on, to be honest. It's a great piece of land out there, as it's the beauty of the north. Just so big, you can really reach out to some big distances. And yeah, here's Jordan, and it's again his first time with a full bore rifle with a 243, and he's connecting pretty well. In a minute or two, if you look carefully at the top left of that plate, I think he shoots the shackle off. It will be in a moment. It does seem to be a running joke with me and Ash, because almost every time I come down now, well, I've been down 3 times, and 2 times out of 3, somebody has shot the shackle off one of the gongs, and yeah, that's quite annoying. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. Look, shot the shackle off. That is annoying though, because when it's like 200 yards away and you're trying to you're trying to shoot, it's a bit of a pain. Yeah, but as you'll see in a moment, we sent him off with some paracord. The trouble with paracord is, of course, as you get sort of backsplash from the round and the jacket comes off, it just does tend to cut through it a bit. But we managed anyway. See, there he is, doing it. It's not perfect, but yeah, it got the job done. Sadly, we didn't see any deer, because that is pretty much the same area that we shot the deer last time, but there we are. Now this is me finally getting on to shooting from the sitting position, as I said before, when I missed the deer. And I didn't cross my legs actually, but obviously a similar position. And it's surprisingly difficult, to be honest. I did actually, this is my first attempt at it, so I'm not hitting it that much. But after a few goes, I did I did manage to start connecting, but unfortunately the range cam, the battery ran out, because we did also take it out to 300 yards. And that was an interesting one, because my rifle zeroed at basically 50 yards and 200 yards, because it's the same zero. But to be honest, with a gong that's 6 inches, nearest makes no difference. It's also zeroed at 300 yards, which is pretty good. But unfortunately, like I said, the battery ran out, so I didn't get an opportunity to show you that. But yeah, all in all, it was a great day, great lesson. So as you can see, it was a great day. I managed to get some good training, some iron out some bad habits I picked up, which we all do over time. and really started to reach out to some further distances. Not stupid distances, because, you know, with only 6 times zoom, you know, it's very much a stalking scope, but 300 yards is, you know, that was pretty good. Obviously, when I get my ATNX site, which is, you know, this is every penny you guys donate to Patreon, none of that is being spent on anything else. That is just being saved purely for that purchase. So, you know, if you've thought about it before, or you've seen me hunting with a 243 and would really like to see some scope cam footage, then, you know, that's what you need to do to make it happen. Basically, become a patron, donate like $1 a month or whatever. It all adds up. And yeah, that scope will be mine. But when I do get that, I'll obviously be able to pull out to much further distances. When I'm shooting with Ash, I'll be able to shoot out to maybe, I don't know, if I get 20 times zoom, maybe as far as 1,000 yards reliably. As I said, at those sorts of distances with 6 times zoom with a thick reticle, you do actually obscure the target completely with the crosshair. But anyway, I digress. If any of you guys are up for a shooting lesson and you want to, you know, train, and you want to get some good advice and get some, but any bad habits that you've picked up that you've just not noticed and you need them pointing out to you, then head over to VarmintShootersUK, to their Facebook group, and speak to Ash, and he'll sort you out a lesson. So anyway, there'll be more of this to come. As I said, Tom should be around a bit more soon, fairly soon, so we'll hopefully get up to Grimsby again. Keep watching.